Sharmila Shanmugasundaram. My metric number is H1-9A0763. Today, I would like to present my part, introduction and the data arrangement that I did in the assignment. First of all is introduction. Business statistics fixate on the fundamental statistic data analysis techniques and also administer them to the business, such as forecast the possibility of a deficit impending from a production line or seeing where sales are going in the future. Diverse approaches are based on that you have probably already come across in elementary maths, such as mode, median, mean, bar graphs, the bell curves, and the basic probabilities used in business statistics. Besides that, the frequency distribution of the mathematical function phi, the number of instances in which each of the possible values is taken by a variable, which is relative frequency distribution, is measure relative frequency. A frequency count is retrieved for the entire population and a subgroup of the population is estimated for another frequency. Next is a cumulative distribution of frequencies. In a frequency distribution is the sum of the class and all classes below it. All the mean is that you have add value and all the value that came prior to it. Besides that, a central tendency measure is a single value that seeks to portray a desire set by defining the central role within that data set. In addition, indicators of central inclinations are also called central position measures. They are acknowledged by as a summary statistics as well. Besides that, the variation a way of optimize how information is dispersed and spread out. In statistics, multiple indicators of variance are used. Firstly, one of the most distinct indicator of variance is the variety. It is the dispenses between the smallest and the largest data object in the collections. Last but not least, make all the differences transfer to the position of the conclusions, which is the position of a value compared to other values in data set. Percentiles, quartiles, and standard scores are the most popular indicators of the place too. Next, I would explain about the data arrangement. First is by using a table, graph, data can be represented. There are three types of table that can be used to describe the data. The data below shows the 36 years of job data in PERAK for the age of 45 to 49 years. The frequency distribution, there are 5 steps, which is step 1, decide the number of the classes. Step 2, determine the class interval of or a width. Step 3, the individual classes limit. Step 4, make a tally marks for each data entry in the appropriate class. Step 5, the number of tally marks for a class is the frequency for the class. The next one is relative frequency distribution. Relative frequency is the ratio of the frequency a given occurrence in a complete frequency statistical experiment. For we need to divide the frequency by the sample size to find a relative frequency of a class, and below are the equations of the relative frequency. The last one is cumulative frequency distribution. Cumulative frequency will be determined by adding to the sum each frequency from the frequency distribution table. The last value would be equal to the same total also. So that's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Lin Chichen. I am from SFP. My metric number is H19B0192. In my assignment, my part is graphical methods. A frequency polygon is a line graph that illustrates the frequency's continuous change. Below represents the table and graph that display frequency polygons. This one is a frequency polygon of the graph. The level forced by group H in PERAK from 45 till 49H is come down then come up and come down and come up again from 60.4 until 10.5.4. Histogram. A histogram is a bar graph that describes the distribution of a data set frequency. The data set of the histogram from the frequency distributions shown in table 2 below, and graph 2 represents the histogram graph. What is a histogram graph of the variable force by H group in PERAK from 45 till 49H? It's come down, then maintain, then increase again from 60.4 until 105.4. Thank you. Above is my assignment of my part.
Hi, my name is Mariama Wali Nadesan. My matric number is H90B0203. Today I would like to present my part, Measure of Central Tendency. A measure of central tendency is a single value that attempts to the characteristic of data set by defining the central role within data set. As such, measure of central incline are often referred to a measure of central position. They are often known as summary statistics. The mean, often referred to as the average, is the most likely indicator of central trend that you are most familiar with. The others, such as the median and mode. The mean, the median, the mode are all reliable measures of central tendency. But under various circumstances, some measures of central tendency are used more suitable than others. In the following page, we will look at the mean, median, mode and learn how to measure them, under what condition they are best suited to use. In the following section, we will like to look at the calculation of median, mode, mean for group data. Mean, the artistic mean of the data set is the sum of all value dividing by the total number of value. It is the most widely used indicator of central tendency since all values are used in the calculation. This is the formula of mean. So the mean of the current job data in PERAK for the age of 49 to 59 years is 85.15. Mean, median, the larger data set, it is simpler to use simple formulas to evaluate the location of the middle value in the distribution. You use variance approach to find a data set median depending on whether the total number of value is even or odd. This is the formula for median. Therefore, the median of current job data in PERAK for the age 45 to 49 years is 91.9. Solution for the median. There are 5 steps. First is determine the location of median class. Second step is determine the lower class boundary LM. Third is determine class size, class width. Fourth is determine FM-1 and FM. Last step is calculate the median. Okay, for the mode is the value that most often occur in our data collection. The bar chart mode is the highest bar on the bar chart. If the data has several values that are bound to often, you have to multimodal distribution. If no value repeated, the data does not have a mode. This is the formula for mode. The highest mode current data job in PERAK for the age 45 to 49 years is 116.2. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ashwini, daughter of Pubilendran. My metric number is H19E0064. Today, I'm going to present about the measure of variation. The measure of variation explains the amount of variation in a random variable. The difference is from systematic patterns or differences. Variance is often defined as spread or dispersions. Measures of variance are either the properties of a distribution of probabilities or their sample estimates. In order to measure the amount of variance between the random variables, we typically use three types of parameters, such as range, variance, and standard deviations. Range. In order to calculate the variance between the higher and lower data entities in the set, the data range is used. The formula of measure range is range equals to maximum data entry minus minimum data entry. Variance. Variance measure how far a data set is spread out. It is mathematically defined as the average of the squared differences from the mean. The formula to measure variance are above the below. Another is standard variance. The most widely used spread metrics are the variance, which symbolized by S2, and standard deviation, the square root of the variance symbolized by S. S equal to square root S2.
Okay, today we are going to see the measure of position. Place measurement is a process by which the position of a particular data value within a given data set can be defined. As with other types of measures, there is more than one approach to the concept of such measures. To determine the measurement of position, the data must be started from the lowest to the highest. There are three different measures of position. First is quartile, second is deciles, third is percentiles. Quartile divide the data set into 4 equal parts. Deciles divide the data set into 10 equal parts. Percentiles divide the data set into 100 equal parts. Next is quartile. Quartile splits each rank ordered data set into 4 equal parts. The values that separate each component are referred to as the first, second, and the third quartile, and are referred to as Q1, Q2, and Q3 respectively. The first quartile is Q1, the lowest data 25% of number. The second quartile Q2 is between 25.1% and 50% up to the median. The third quartile Q3 is the highest data, which is 51% to 75% above the median. The difference between the upper and lower quartile is called the interquartile range. Step 1. Find the location of Q1 and Q3. Step 2. Find the value of Q1 and Q3 by using the formula. Step 3. Interquartile range. In conclusion, We prefer to use some of the methods such as data arrangement, graphical methods, measure of tendency, measure of position, measure of variation to calculate the data of the labor force by age group PERAK 1982 from 2019 between age group 45 to 49 in Malaysia. The first step is to classify the data provided. That we use the frequency distribution to measure the number of classes, which is 6, class width 8.65 per 9, and the class limits in the data. We also use relative frequency and cumulative frequency to organize the data. For the graphical method, our group decided to use two types of graphs, which is frequency polygon and histogram. We used the central tendency method to calculate the mode, mean, and median. The shape of distribution is divided into two, which is symmetric and non-symmetric. The symmetric distribution, the mean, mode, and median are fall at same point. It also reflected in its vertical center line. The non-symmetric distribution is the asymmetry where the data points are swept either to the right or to the left in the graph. So these are the graphs that our group did. Our first class is 56.4 to 64.4. The frequency is 9. Second class is 65.4 to 73.4. The frequency is 3. Third class is 74.4 to 82.4. The frequency is 4. Fourth class is 83.4 to 91.4. The frequency is 2. Fifth class is 92.4 to 100.4. The frequency is 8. The last class is 101.4 to 109.4. The frequency is 10. There is for bell-shaped is symmetric. Thank you.